Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTBase.com. Welcome to a weekly COT review. Today we're going to be analyzing the 8th Commitments of Traders report of 2025. And as we always do, we shall start out by looking at the largest changes in commercials net positions. We're of course analyzing the classic COT report type with the longest history of Commitments of Traders data, futures and options data combined. And as you can see, we have the wheat, all sorts of wheats on top of our list. Kansas City wheat, we've got the Chicago wheat. The complex, we combine markets together. You can see we've got 3 different wheat, the Chicago, the Kansas City, and the Minneapolis wheat. We combine all the data into one. I'm going to jump over those. The most traded one is the Chicago wheat with a 16% change in commercials net positions. You can see that, of course, these are correlating markets, so we would be expecting the same or very similar picture over there in the rest. So on this 1 year's chart, you can see the recent change size over there. It's larger than average. Nothing too unusual. We've seen greater changes in the past. It is a bearish change signal suggesting some weakness in the next few days. But if we move to the 5 years chart, you can see that a couple reports ago, we had this beautiful bullish COT Extreme in the market, just around this support level over here. And you can see that the past few weeks, the market has risen. So it seems that this signal was successful. Moving on to our next market, crude oil, the Brent crude oil. With a 16% change in commercials net positions. Let's go to the 1 year's chart. There we go. Again, a bit larger than average, but I wouldn't be that excited about the size of the change in traders net positions. So I just move on. Let's see if there's anything in the COT Extreme part of things. Nothing really. So I'll be honest with you guys. There's not much to conclude from the Commitments of Traders report issued by CFTC. And when that happens, but you want to trade the market, then you might as well check out our own iCOT Intraday Indicator that we developed after many, many years of research. So this is crude oil. I'll take off the signals. I just want to put them on one by one. So this is crude oil, light crude, WTI. Crude oil, the most heavily traded of the different oil markets. And our indicator, let's start with the scores, basically is something we created to mimic COT analysis. So you can see the same green and red charts underneath the price chart. This is, however, not data directly from CFTC. It is our own data, our own scores, our own indicator. It's a lot of information in it. I've created a video on how we came to make the iCOT Intraday Indicator. You might want to check that out. So basically what it does is it does the same stress level analysis as what we're used to in classic COT analysis. But that's a weekly, oh gosh, I love it if it was a daily data, but no, unfortunately it's still just a weekly data. However, the indicator itself is something that can produce results real time. This is a 15-minute. I didn't want to choose a very long time frame, neither a very short one like 1 minute or something like that. A 15-minute is, I think, already pretty good to show the capabilities of the indicator. So at these tops, you can see we have a bearish extreme developing. The more we go higher, the more dense we get these signals. And then as we come down, we get some very, very decent signals from the scores, similar to COT chart analysis. We got some beautiful hits on crude oil. And that's the reason I took the indicators off, just so you see that by default, because there's a lot of settings you can apply to the indicator. But by default, it is something that can be used very successfully on shorter term trading. So combining classic COT analysis with the iCOT Intraday Indicator can be very, very efficient. Moving on to our next market, orange juice. We talked about orange juice last week. I pinpointed how successful this bearish COT Extreme was. But of course, we are starting off with changes in commercials net position. So let me come back to this 1 year chart, and you can see that once again we are getting a bit larger than average bullish change signal. The one from last week was unsuccessful, but I should point out, and I have in the past many times, when we are just after a reaction from the market to the COT Extreme, right? You can clearly see that there was a build up in the extreme positioning of traders. And once the market starts reacting, you can see kind of it broke the support trend line over here. So we can conclude that the extreme COT Extreme signal was successful. You will end up getting these larger than average change signals in the opposite direction. So we of course can expect, and I'm sure there is a rebound in the makes in the next, I don't know, days or weeks ahead of us. However, knowing that it's just after a successful bearish COT Extreme, we have to accept the fact that the trend has changed. And if that's the case, then we should be cautious with bullish COT change signals. Moving on to large speculators COT Extreme analysis, we can see we've got currencies on top of our list, starting with the dollar index with a 22 report extreme. Well, yeah, just by looking at the number, it's nothing unusual. To be fair, we are more or less in between the two extremes right now. So the last time we had an extreme was back over here in this region. It was a bullish COT extreme coinciding with a bottom in the dollar index. Are we at a bearish extreme? I think if we look at this 5 year chart, even someone starting off with COT analysis can conclude that maybe not. So we are not at a bearish extreme just yet. We should wait a little bit and see this strengthen, this extreme, this stress in the market. Now, I should point out this is the simple dollar index, and this is the data CFTC publishes on the dollar index. However, we have constructed the true US dollar index that I think is something quite unique, true US dollar index. You might want to check that out because it has a little bit more information compiled in the data. Moving on to the Japanese yen. Here we have a 19 report extreme in large speculators net positions. Again, looking at the charts, opening a 5 year chart really gives the perspective here. You can see clearly the most bullish COT extreme when commercials reached around 200,000 contracts net long level. Look at that, how beautifully it coincided with the bottom over here in the Japanese yen. That's really remarkable. Same thing, the bearish COT extreme, one of the most bearish extremes in the past 5 years, coinciding with the top. Okay, so really, I think the Japanese yen is another prime example of how successful COT extreme analysis can be. You might wonder, is this a bearish extreme that could push prices lower? We just got to go back in time and see what happened. And yes, it may push the market back down. The last time, you can see that we had this bullish COT extreme. The market has shot up from there. But this change in traders' net positions was so quick and dynamic that we developed a relative bearish extreme very, very quickly. So that pushed the market back down. Moving on to the Canadian dollar, which is going to be our last market for the review, we can see a 16 report extreme. Yeah, so 16 report extreme, what it means is 16 reports ago, we have seen traders at these positionings. So they were holding this amount or close to this amount of net contracts. It is more of we're still more in a bullish territory. If you look at this 5 year chart, you can see the most bearish COT extreme from June 2021, just around this top over here. And now we're closer to bullish COT extreme levels. So, and we can see that we have witnessed a bit of a rise from these lows. So we'll see how this continues. But it's very interesting to see how well classic COT analysis can benefit those who trade currencies. Now that is all for this review, but as you can see, there's a lot to do here at COTBase.com. We just talked about the Canadian dollar. If you want to dig into its data, we absolutely offer you everything that there is on the COT data. If you would be interested in something more unique and shorter term, I can advise you to check out our indicators, the iCOT Intraday Indicator. Today I was showing you the basic version with only the signals, but we have a updated version which will actually help you identify good buy and sell opportunities. The COTBase Pro is actually a membership with an indicator. It allows you to download the data and apply the tool sets in a NinjaTrader. This is only available on NinjaTrader. The iCOT Intraday Indicator is available both on Ninja and TradingView as well. That is going to be all for this review. Thank you so much for your attention. I wish you guys a wonderful weekend. Take care. Goodbye.